my daughters are big influence in my life because they constantly push me. And my why is being able to provide for them, but also making them providers, not providees. It doesn't matter what your why is. Some people's why is buying a car. Some people's why is this. Some people's why is that. If you don't achieve it, it's because you didn't try hard enough. It's because your why wasn't big enough. It's because your why really didn't matter to you. When you make your why something that you just can't let down, you go through what nobody's stopping me from something that I want if it's in front of me. Unfortunately for you, I'm going to go through you and I'm going to get it.
All right. Welcome, all of you out there, to another edition of World Class Mindset. I have with me someone that I have fallen in love with inside of my company. His name is Charlie Nacovsky. Charlie, say hello to everybody out there. Welcome to the podcast today, Charlie. Good to have you.
Hello. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Charlie, let's just get right into it, why you and I decided we needed to do this. This past year, Charlie broke a record in our agency that has stood for probably better than 30 plus years. He had the biggest production record in the history of our agency. First, congrats to you for achieving that. And second, after I got to spend some real good time with you, it all made sense why you were the number one guy when we got to talking, because you believe in what you do. Those of you that are out there selling for a living, this is a podcast for you. And I'm going to let you talk about this because after 4 decades of being in the sales profession, I think the most important people on this planet are salespeople. So Charlie, let's talk a little bit about what happened this year. You broke a record, Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty damn good record. How did you do it, Charlie?
I set goals daily, but I set a goal in the beginning of the year. To go back a little further, at the end of 2022, I was edged out by a very respected person named Michelle Fall. So I was edged out by her at the end of 22, and I made up my mind at December 31st, 2022, that I was going to be the number one agent for the following year. And then I said, you know what? That's probably not enough. I want to be the number one selling agent the agency has ever had. So I set that goal in January, and I'm just the type of person, when I set a goal or when I say I'm going to do something, you can pretty much bet on it.
You set a goal, you set a target, and then you got real serious and you made it happen. A lot of people, they get real serious, but they don't make it happen. What is it that is maybe in your past, or what is it that you've done so that you can actually have the confidence?
I've always been a person that I wanted to do everything for myself. So my stepfather was probably the person I looked up to the most, and he passed away when I was 24. And I had to kind of right from then on, didn't have that person that I was always going to. So I always had to do it for myself. But I always had a passion for just taking care of people. I was in the car business before this for many years, and I was successful because I brought a concern and a genuine care for clients. Anybody can really be a salesman, but to be a very, very successful salesman, I made up my mind early that I was going to take care of people first. I get joy out of, signing up a client for insurance, and then, their relatives are waiting for me because, they just like the way that they were treated.
You started out in car sales. You went way back to also when you were young, how you lost your stepfather, that really impacted you. Talk a little bit about that. How did that motivate you, Charlie, back then?
I went from having someone that I looked up to actually being the person that other people were looking up to, and I wasn't going to let my family down. I just made up my mind that I was going to be successful, and believe me, I wasn't successful right away. It took a few years. Failure is not just about not winning or not achieving something. It's about not giving it everything you have, okay? Because there's no shame in falling down. The shame is in not getting back up. I had to fall down a couple of times, but when I made up my mind that I was going to be the leader and the person that everyone looked up to, and I was going to own that, and I was going to give my daughters, a standard set for the man that was going to be in their lives, that was it. There was no better motivation than that. Who would have never guessed it? 20 years later, I'm in a different business that I am, if not more successful, and enjoying it way more and feeling much more rewarded for helping, for protecting these families. It's just, I literally sometimes get goosebumps when I sit down and talk to families and they thank me and they pay me. You know what I mean?
So it's goosebumps, Charlie. Isn't that beautiful?
It's great.
Right? There's no greater feeling than that. How do you go about the sales process? What's your mindset? You're at the door, you're about to make it. What's your mindset going into to that moment?
The mindset is actually, there's people before us that made this business what it is, and the scripts and the process that has been implemented by people like you and David and Mike Gerstein that has been successful. Why would you not want to emulate that? I always take my own part of the script and I have to add stuff to it because I'm just me, and I have to sometimes educate the clients on something that's off the script, but it's always back to the script. When you get off that script, you get back to it for the next part of your process. If you're not coachable, as soon as you think you can't learn anything, as soon as you think you don't need a script or you don't need a process, you're done.
You and I, when we had this conversation the other day, it hasn't left me. When you said to me, at the end, I really don't ask them which program they want to go with. I'm kind of telling them which way they should go. Tell me about that mindset.
So I pretty much have the same system when I walk into the house. I follow the script, I follow the process. And if you go through each screen, you go through the needs analysis, you go through the educating them on the different types of life insurance, you might get to the end of your screen and your choice A and choice B is $700 a month and $600 a month. And are you really going to give somebody a car payment for their insurance payment? What I do is I actually break that down to exactly what they need. But if somebody makes, $15,000 a month, you're really going to give them an $800 insurance payment? I mean, by all means, if they want it and they're insisting on it, that's one thing, but I will literally talk them out of it into something they can afford, and then they appreciate it. And I say, we can always raise this later, but I got to give you something that you are going to be comfortable right now paying for the rest of your life. This is something that you will have forever. So I want you to be comfortable enough that you can look me in the face right now and say, from this day for the next how many years you can afford this payment. And I will be much more comfortable with this program for you. And then I want to earn your trust. I want to earn your business. And I'll come back later on and write you up for more insurance if you need it. That's where that personalization comes in. Because if you're just a robot and you just sign everybody up, you're going to leave the house and the light bulb's going to go off and they're going to say, holy shit, I'm paying $500 a month for insurance. My car payment's only $450. And that's when you get cancellations. That's when you get bad retention. You got to put everything in perspective for these people. Like if you've done your job, they're probably going to pick A or B. You have to be smart enough to not let them go with right then and there that you closed them on A or B. Okay. I will change A or B. I'll still give them an A or B, but it's going to be a different A or B.
Charlie, talk a little bit about the quality of your business. I understand it's super high. What are you running right now?
Right now I'm at 86%. I dip sometimes. Listen, everybody dips sometimes, but you got to figure out a way to fix that. But at right now, the way it stands, I'm at 86%. And I ended last year, 270,000 in business, over 80%. And that is by making sure they could afford it. I mean, the answers to the test are on the screen right in front of you. So you just have to not be greedy. Okay. Do you want to write somebody up for $500 a month, or do you want to write them up for $300 a month and write up 7 of their relatives also for $300 a month?
What would you say are some of the key ingredients mindset wise? Now I want to just go into mindset for being this high level sales professional.
You have to believe in what you're selling. First things first is I believe in life insurance. I've been through personal things in my life with people that have been prepared to die and people that have not been prepared to die. And I want to see everybody prepared, okay? Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. When you believe in it, your passion will go to your client will feel that. When you're just selling, believe me, they know. And you might close them so they can get you out of the house and then they're going to cancel on you tomorrow. When they believe you, when they could feel your passion, when you care about their family, and I genuinely do, then you literally can sell anything. Listen, I have a high school education. I've got a real estate license. I ran car dealerships. This is the most rewarding thing that I've ever done with a high school education, over $200,000 last year. Thank you very much, by the way. And I can tell you this, and to take a little page out of Mike's book, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But you have to believe in the life insurance. And then you have to want to help the person you're sitting with. Believe in your product, love your client, care about their family genuinely. I tell every single client, my post-close is this: before we do your DocuSign, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. You're paying this for the rest of your life. Not only that, we're talking about life insurance, so you're stuck with me for the rest of your life, because this is life insurance. Until one of us dies, we are going to have a relationship. And I want to make sure that I'm somebody that 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 5 months from now, you're not going to say that guy sold me too much insurance or didn't give me enough. I want us to be sure that this is what you're comfortable with for the rest of your life, because canceling it hurts both of us. I literally have a 5-minute post-close to help my retention, to make sure that once they really get that DocuSign, they're ready. They're ready and they're paying it forever. You still have, things that happen. Obviously, that's why we're not at 100%. But at the end of the day, you've helped a lot of people and you made a lot of freaking money on accident in the process.
Amen, Charlie. I don't think anyone listening right now is thinking anything less than I want to be Charlie, because the way you think is absolutely beautiful. Where does your belief for life, where does it come from? Because I know a lot of people in the life insurance business, I don't think they have that depth of belief. Where does it come from? Where did you get it from?
The belief in life insurance came from before I got in this business, seeing people die unprepared. I lost a very close friend of mine who had a beautiful house. He had 2 beautiful cars. He has beautiful kids. One of them's in college, and he died unexpectedly at 44 years old. It was one of the reasons I got into this business. Not prepared for anything. Everything looked wonderful on the outside. You would have thought they were made of money. GoFundMe page for the kids to finish college. We all chipped in to pay for the funeral. All I wanted to do was honor him and make sure that, he could die with as much dignity as possible. And then I thought back to, again, when my stepfather passed away, and I tell my clients this exact story. My stepfather was prepared. He died unexpectedly, but he was prepared. My mother's house was paid off. Her cars were paid off. She didn't have a single bill, and she was able to stay in that house. And my mother was able to retire comfortably with no mortgage in a retirement community because of him being prepared. And it was my transition into this. And then I just happened to get lucky and get with this company. Believe in the product, but then you need to learn everything you need to know about life insurance. How could you sit in front of somebody as a professional, even if you believe in life insurance, if you don't know everything about life insurance? I can tell you everything about life insurance. I can tell you everything about probate. I can tell you everything about how other companies pay out. I'm sitting with a guy with $1 million worth of life insurance who makes a boatload of money. He's going to have a pension. And I said, that's fantastic. And you know what? I'm so happy you have all that insurance because I know you care about your family. But tell me this, that particular company takes about 6 months to pay out. I know they're going to pay because they're really good. I trust that company. I never knock another company. So I said, I love the fact that you have it because that tells me that you care about your family and you believe in the insurance. But tell me this, what do they do for that 6 months? What does your wife do for that 6 months she's waiting for that $1 million? Let's set you up with something that's going to bridge that gap. Know your product, know other people's product, but also know about certain things. We're in the death business, right? So you have to know everything that is involved. I can tell you everything that's going to happen the day somebody dies. You know the first thing that happens? The first thing that happens when you die, they get a bill. They don't get money. They don't get your pension. They don't get your life insurance. They get a bill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up to make sure that bill's paid. And then we're going to talk about the rest from there. You got to know every aspect of it. How many sales you miss because you don't know other people's products, or because somebody says, I have $1 million worth of life insurance. You say, oh, okay, well, I guess you're pretty covered. Thanks for your time. I use that as you know what? You know about life insurance. I love you right now. I'm so happy that you care about your family that much that you have insurance already. Just got to bridge that 6 month gap.
So Charlie, belief, I heard you. Give me some more nuggets here. I'm a salesman. I'm average, man. I want to be above average.
You got to I go into every sale, no matter what's happening in life. I go in there with a smile. Everybody has problems, but listen, be broke and see how much more problems you have. Everybody could have a problem. Everybody could have a bad day. You never want to bring that to your client. Okay. Walk into every house like they're your last person you're ever going to see and like they're your favorite person in the world. But you know what? You got to mean it. The reward for me is that I genuinely love what I do. I genuinely believe in the product, and I genuinely want to help these people that I'm sitting across from. I want to see them successful. Even if I don't know you, I'm a person that wants to see other people succeed. You got to walk in there and be their grandson. You got to be their son. You got to be somebody that they can relate to, but you got to mean it because they can see right through bullshit. You might close them because you're a decent salesman, but you're never going to be great. You want to be a great salesman? Believe in what you're selling. Learn every single thing there is to know about it. You need to be the most knowledgeable person at the table. Be honest with the people. Don't think you're going to make your paycheck sitting at that. If you go in like, oh, I'm broke today, I need to make my paycheck today, it ain't going to work out. I could have been very content and made, a decent amount of money last year, not breaking the record, not being the best that the company has ever seen. But it would have been doing myself an injustice. It would have been doing my family an injustice because I had more in the tank.
Amen. You had more in there.
Give it everything you got every single day.
Yes.
Be compassionate.
So Charlie,
I learned from what I didn't do the year before. I learned from each month. I figured out, why didn't I do more? And the answer can never be that you didn't put enough effort. The answer could be, you know what, your process got adjusted or you got off the script, but it can never be you didn't put in the time and you didn't put in the effort. You have to put that in. Amen. To get more out of it. Nobody can do this part-time. Listen, I don't want to get off the subject, but I want to tell everybody, don't do this part-time. You're doing yourself an injustice. If you think you're working this job and another job, you're doing them both an injustice because you're not giving you 100% to either one of them. I can promise you this, if you went through school and got your license in insurance and you do exactly what you're taught from these people that have made millions and millions of dollars, you will not need another job. Make a commitment You walk into this place with a license, an insurance license. It's a golden freaking ticket for unlimited income. Use it.
So you obviously have continued, and now you're up 70 this year. What about this year coming up? Are you thinking the same numbers you did this year? What is going to give you the ability to think that you can do more in those same hours?
I mean, I want to do over 300,000 this year.
And what did you do, by the way, this past year? You want to do 300. What did you do this past year? What was the total number?
268. I want to break
with the same hours. You're going to do more. See, this is what people need to hear. You could actually do more, get more done inside the hours. What do you think is going to help you get there?
Part of that extra $40,000 or $50,000 is going to be because I am naturally going to have more referrals. You should just by accident add to your ALP. Now just write a little bit more business. I honestly don't know that it's going to be that difficult, to be honest with you. Referrals are the only thing that's going to catapult you to a number that is astronomical.
You go to work every day, and it seems to me like you genuinely love what you do. So to you, it's probably not even work. Give us some more tips, Charlie, on how all of us can go to that next level. Charlie, keep going.
Well, for me, I have my cause, my why has always been my family, my kids. I want to set a standard for them, not only for what, now I have daughters, so I don't want to only set the standard of what they look for in a man. And my older daughter recently got engaged, and she recently opened her own business. I pretty much know I set a good example for her, and she found a wonderful, wonderful man. I love Jake. I've known him.
Love the kid. Just let me know if you don't, because we can take care of him, and you know what I'm saying. We can eliminate.
My daughter would never have settled for less because of the standard that I'm setting for her. Not only that, I've created a 26-year-old successful business owner because of my work ethic, because she sees that, I didn't have to go for a record last year, but my kids were literally looking at the production log. Like, hey, Dad, you got to look out for Michelle again. Here she comes. I always had a goal was to make my family proud. Something for me, it's something weird, but I never want to look at my kids and not be able to afford to give them something they deserve. Not what they want. I want to be able to give them whatever they deserve. And if you look at your kids and you can't afford it because of lack of effort, you should be ashamed of yourself. I have a why, I have a process, and I have passion for what I do. And every day when I wake up, when I have appointments, I'm up earlier. I'm getting prepared. I'm loading up my briefcase. If I have 5 appointments today, you can look in my briefcase. I've got 5 will kits. I've got 5 folders. I've got 5 swaps. My briefcase is heavy because I'm prepared to make every sale.
Amen. Talk about that process, your why. Do you write this shit out? Do you have it in here and in here? Do you talk about these things with your family? Tell me about that part of the process.
I keep my family in the loop. I mean, we talk about, mentors. We talk about influencers. I got a small circle. I have a small circle, and I surround myself with people that want to see me do good, and I want to see do good. And everybody in that circle I love, and most of them are family to begin with. I don't have too many outsiders in my circle. My daughters are big influence in my life because they constantly push me. And my why is being able to provide for them, but also making them providers, not providees. It doesn't matter what your why is. Some people's why is buying a car. Some people's why is this. Some people's why is that. If you don't achieve it, it's because you didn't try hard enough. It's because your why wasn't big enough. It's because your why really didn't matter to you. When you make your why something that you just can't let down, you go through what nobody's stopping me from something that I want if it's in front of me. Unfortunately for you, I'm going to go through you and I'm going to get it because I will not be denied. And if I make a commitment, you can bet anything you want in your life that it's going to happen. Or that I'll die trying.
Let's talk a little bit about adversity. You went through some periods in your life, I'm sure, from the car business to, wow, I'm no longer in that. I got to reinvent myself. How do you handle adversity when it comes to you? What's your thoughts on that, and what do you do?
I really believe that, every problem is only waiting for a solution. So I do have adversity. When I got out of the car business in 2019 and, told my family that I was going to, give a shot at someone new because someone brought this insurance business to me, and because of what I dealt with, it was scary because I was making a lot of money. I'm not going to say the car business wasn't good to me because it was, but I just didn't have a passion anymore. I didn't have, and I needed something. And, I started dipping my feet in this water. And you want to talk about adversity? That was adversity, from going from $200,000 to, not even knowing what my paycheck is going to be for the next 6 months. But my family saying, if this is what you want to do, if this is what's going to, take you where you want to go, then we got you. We got your back. And they stood behind me. And, I made my first $200,000 in this business last year and, tackled the adversity. And so for me, the adversity was you give somebody, your family, a certain lifestyle that they're used to, and then tell them, yeah, you know what, we're going to have to take a little break from that right now. But I promise you, at the end of this, it's going to end up being better. We're going to have more time. We're going to have more money. And I never put money first, but I have to say that, like I said before, if you got problems, be broke and see how much worse your problems are. There's a solution to every problem. You just have to find it. You sometimes have to dig deep, and it's sometimes going to hurt. And you gotta have the wherewithal to just get through it and fight through it, and have a vision of where you want to be, and don't stop till you get there.
Hey, you know what I'm predicting for you, Charlie? Because I can tell we talked before this visit, and I think you told me you were about 30 to 40% of your business comes from referral. My prediction for you, Charlie, is that this coming year and the years ahead, it's going to go to 50%, and then 60, and then 70, and then 80% of your business coming from your clients who go to work for you because they're going to work for the people they love about, Charlie. You know, wrap your mind around that level, because then I can tell you this, you'll be working even less and making even more, because that's how it works. So adversity, you dig in, it doesn't upset you. You're on a sale. Someone says, no, I'm not interested. Somebody says, I want to think about it. Do you go whimpering home and crying and calling everybody? How do you handle that, Charlie? What do you do?
Let's think about it together. Let's think about it together right now. Let's figure out why you don't want it. Let's figure out why you don't need it. Let's figure out why you can't afford it. There is no reason to not have life. For one thing, if you don't have it already, I'm not leaving your house without it. Second, if you do have it already, we got to find the holes. Anybody that had, and again, Mike Gerstein, I admire that guy a lot. He pointed out a couple of things. When you go through that process, when you actually get the answers to every part of the test, you get the needs analysis, you get the education and life insurance, you get all that stuff. And when you get there and at the end, they're still not closed, you've missed something. Go home and practice your presentation. If I don't make a sale, which is not very often, but if I don't, I know it was because of me.
Where the heck did you get that from? What? Because most people, they say, well, they didn't need it, but you look at it as it's on me.
It's on me, because everybody needs it. If I didn't educate them enough that they said yes, then that's on me. I've done them a disservice, and I didn't do the process correctly, or I missed something. I sat down with this retired union guy who's made of money. He didn't need life insurance. He genuinely was a person that didn't. I'm sitting down with 15 of his friends on Thursday. And I didn't write him. So did I not make a sale? No, of course I did. I have 15 referrals from this guy. And I'm sitting down with all of them, taking names and numbers to make appointments on Thursday. So from a no sale, it's probably going to be 5 or 6 sales.
His inner circle. You got them. And then how many people? And then how many people do each of them know, Charlie? This is where people watching this have to really, really catch your spirit, your mindset, your attitude, because you want him so much that these 15 other people are going to bring their circle, their people. Go ahead. You were going to?
I was going to say that my exact thought was that I'm going to sit down with these 15 guys. All right, let's just be conservative and say 7 of them have a wife. Let's be even more conservative and say, half of them have a couple kids. They also have brothers and sisters and cousins. And if this guy, James, liked me enough to tell these people, he didn't ask him. He said, Charlie's coming to the meeting Thursday. Make sure you're all here and be on time, because he's on a schedule. Talking about schedules, I told him, listen, I'm on a schedule, man. If you're going to make this appointment, let's make it for a day where they're definitely going to be there, because I got other people I got to see. Okay, so let's get on a schedule. And he has called
people don't want to do business with people that aren't busy, Charlie. You're telling them you're busy because you're important. That's a good thing to tell them.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy because I have I got a lot of people to see.
You got a lot of people that need you.
Your family is going to become my first priority, but I need you to respect my time as well. So, let's get a time that's good for all 15 of us. And I'm going to probably walk out of there with, 20, 30 names.
As you're hearing Charlie share his secrets, they're really not secrets per se, because now you know. And you've heard this, I'm sure, right? Just listen.
Just listen to what they're telling you. Be coachable. I tell this story. I've been training salespeople for 30 years almost. There's a story about a Pop Warner football player who's getting coached on how to throw and how to step back. And this same guy, now he's in high school and he's still getting coached and how to step back and make sure you plant your. Now he goes to college and he's still getting coached. Now he goes to the NFL and he's still getting coached, and he's worth $50 million, but he's still listening to somebody tell him he stepped the wrong way or he stepped that way. Be coachable your whole life, no matter how much money you're making or how successful you think you are. Listen.
There are no limits, like you said, Charlie, to what we can do and what we can earn, right? That guy that went from Pop Warner all the way, like you just said, all the way, and he's still coachable, makes total sense. The guy that stopped being coachable, he stopped at that space. He's not going up higher because he stopped learning, right? He stopped being coachable. If I am watching this and I'm in this business, I'm going to rewind it, take notes like crazy, because this was one of those sessions I feel that anyone that is average can go way above average. Anyone that isn't even in this game can get into this game by incorporating this type of thinking and actions into it. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap this thing up?
I would say just, recap everything. Just be coachable, just follow your process, follow your systems, and have a schedule. You have to have a schedule. I try to take 2 days a week off. So my bookers and myself don't book me on Sunday. But if a client's only available on Sunday, I'll be there. But by us telling the client when we're available, we sound desired. We sound like a hot commodity. It's not like, hey, what day can I see? Oh, you can see me next Friday. No. I'm available tomorrow and Thursday. Which one's better for you? Okay. If they say Sunday's my only day off, no problem. Can we do it 9 o'clock in the morning, have a cup of coffee? We can both enjoy the rest of our day from there. So make a schedule and stick to it. And you can have as much time off as you want, but make that schedule. I don't ever turn down a client, but I have gone 3 Sundays without working, without missing a single client. That's not to say phone calls weren't made. I'm talking about driving to a house.
Sure. Going to somebody. Yeah.
Driving to a house. So be coachable. If I could say anything else, it would just be, don't settle. I look at the freaking production log and the leaderboard 25 times a day because I'm OCD and I'm anal and I want my name at the top. I want my colleagues to succeed. The way I can help everybody else succeed is by being the best that I can be. I got Mike Battaglia. I got Michelle Fall. I got Chris Velez. These people are just they're
on your tail
because they know. I mean, I know, Mike's done it before. I know he's done a lot of money before, but they know 300's listen, if 270 is attainable, 300 is attainable. Don't think you can't do it. Everybody can do it. If you follow this process, 200 calls or 1,000 ALP, or, if you follow the process, you will make money. The person that didn't make money stopped at 198 calls because the last 2 were the appointments. Okay. If you commit to doing it, make a commitment, stick with it, or else at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and say, no, we can't have that because I didn't work hard enough today. So you want to be at the top of the leaderboard? You can. Just say you're gonna. Just say it, write it down, and tell somebody you love. I put myself on the spot.
Hold yourself accountable, right?
I put myself on the spot. I can't tell my 16-year-old daughter that I'm going to do something and it doesn't get done. So when I tell her when I'm breaking the record this year, she's asking me about it. I'm never going to let her down. So tell somebody that you love and that counts on you what you're going to do. And I bet you get it done.
I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with me and the rest of us here in WCM.
Anybody that's shy or wants a little, little advice, a little sales training, call me anytime. It's free. Just be humble enough to make the call.
And be humble enough to, when you make the call, zip it, listen with both ears, because as I'm listening to you, you get me fired up to do what I've been doing for 45 years.
My appointment has no shot right now. The one I'm on my way to, they got no shot.
Zero. Collect the check, whether it's selling life insurance, cars, computers, or jet planes. Charlie, you just gave all of us the keys to the kingdom on how we who in this sales profession can go from good to great. And I know that because of your humility, I can tell there's more in you. My only question is, are you going to allow Michelle, Battaglia, or Velez, because I know they plan on beating you this year. Are you going to let them do that, Charlie, or do you plan on what's your game?
Well, unfortunately for them, and I love and respect all of them, we're all on the same team, but unfortunately for them, there's only one number 1 spot.
My man!
It's going to be a fight. And if they win, I will bow down gracefully and congratulate them. But, next year we're going to do it again because this is never ending. This is life insurance.
Charlie, thank you again so much. Great having you, bro. We'll see you soon. We'll talk soon, my friend.
Anytime. Thank you.